Next is
So,
taken photos.
from this static page of the Web 1, so when the information is actually one way and limited, and we've evolved to the Web 2, read and write, right? Where it's more dynamic and interactive. Right now, we're actively shaping Web 3. I think it's safe to say that everyone in this room is contributing to this evolution. So the VCs is actually, I think you guys are like at the forefront, identifying and nurturing this transformative technology. So your investment actually has big impact to accelerate the innovations and also, I think, shape markets and change lives of billions. So we're super happy to have all the esteemed panelists today with us. Shall we kick off with a round of intro? Calvin, would you like to start?
Okay, I'm Gavin. I manage a $200 million US fund based here in Hong Kong. We invested in 2016 till now, about more than 300 projects, mainly all kinds of size. You name it, from as little as just $10,000 US during the bull run, because in our industry, to be very honest, in the bull run, you actually cannot choose. If they give you 10,000, you take 10,000. If they give you 500,000, you take 500,000, right? So we invested more than 300 projects. We hit highest AUM at hand, about 680 million US.
Okay.
Poseidon?
Yeah, I'm gonna diversify my introduction with Kelvin by telling a little story of how Outliers Fund started as a special interest group from MIT and turned into a Web3 VC fund today. So on the same year, 2016, we started as 21 student LP and then 1 student GP. And then we syndicated over 800,000 ETH back then when ETH price was 6. Back then, I only know 2 blockchain protocol. One is Divinity ICP, one is Ethereum. And then back then, I think it was because none of us were accredited investor and qualified investor. So we couldn't do traditional venture capital equity investment. So we had to learn how to do investments through these ERC20 token standard. So we narrowed down from 880 white paper, tokenomics, and smart contract into 160 that we worked with for a year. I remember back then, we were just providing some add-on value support that is considered very low level, including helping them translate their white paper into Vietnamese, Indian, and Chinese, and help them audit their smart contract, help them design their tokenomics when we were students back in 2016. And it was a wild run. Like in the past 8 years, it was Outliers Fund 1, Fund 2, Fund 3, and right now we are running our Fund 3, and it's still Web3 VC focused. So besides Web3, you cannot ask me anything. I only know how to do Web3 investment in the past 8 years since I dropped out from MIT. Thank you.
August.
Hi, everyone. I'm Gavin. I'm from SNZ Capital. I'm now a managing partner and CIO for the fund. Well, so for SNZ started by in early 2015. One of the co-founders helped to translate the Ethereum white paper into Chinese and helped Vitalik to start the earliest community in China and Asia. And we invested in Divinity back to 2016 in the angel round and continue to kind of build our stake and support the entire ecosystem. We also organized the first hackathon even before Supernova. So and there's lots of our portfolio in the ICP ecosystem, including AstroX. Like Bruce is going to join the panel as well tonight. So so that's about our history with Divinity. And we currently have more than 200 portfolio under management. Before this year, we all use principal money to do investment. But in 2023, we got a small kind of a early stage in the angel venture as well. The goal is more to include more kind of all the resources from all different aspects to support our kind of portfolio, to support the entire crypto blockchain community. But it's not only for money, but we're talking about like to business, to attention, so everything. And for myself, and I started as an investment banker here in Hong Kong with UBS, like ex-colleague of Eugene. I always like focusing fintech space. Nice to meet all of you. It's my honor. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jupiter. I come from Hashy Capital. So Hashkey is a Hong Kong and a Singapore-based blockchain crypto company focused on providing institutional level services to the traditional investors. So we have exchanges, we have venture capitals. Our venture arms have been investing more than 300 projects globally since 2018. And we build our network with different partners like Definity Foundations. I think our history with Definity can be dated back many, many years ago. So it's very happy to see that we come so much a long way to the point that we can see the Web3 and AI can change the world to some point. So nice to be here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So the groundwork of AI is actually happens in the early 90s, right? So I think it's flourished maybe in the 1947 to 1974. So during that time, the computer can store more information, and it becomes cheaper and more accessible to people. So recently, the AI has gained a lot of buzz. And the big companies, big tech companies from Web2, like Microsoft, Meta, or they're actually increasing their investment in the AI to support the AI work. I wanted to ask, as investors, what are the trends that you've noticed in the recent times?
So who here has invested in AI more than 3 companies first?
I don't. I focus in Web3. As I mentioned, you cannot ask me anything outside of Web3.
So you're going to skip the question.
No, I can.
No, identify the trends. It could be anything.
Yeah. I can start, and then to lay out a ground. Usually, starting first is more easier. Otherwise, my content is going to be talk about.
That's why I asked who has invested in AI first, so he can start first, right?
Yeah.
What are the trends that you guys identify? It doesn't have to be AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first of all, like last week when I was in Shanghai, giving a talk at Shanghai Blockchain Week, I'm paraphrasing one phrase from another speaker in Chinese, called AI 改变的是生产力，但 Web3 区块链改变的是生产关系。If we were to use English to say that is, AI is pushing forward the boundaries of productivity, but Web3 and blockchain is more like pushing forward the product relationship or between different stakeholders. And we identify 5 different kind of investment verticals that we were debating on stage back then. So again, this is from last week, fresh. So one is LLM models tokenization. You can use tokens to incentivize people who contribute data to the models, and how to make data more clean, more centric. So a new wave of data-centric AI startups is coming up. Those are not focused on modeling, not focused on algorithms, but focus on the data actuations.
Right.
Secondly is prompt. The prompt in ChatGPT tokenization. Again, you can use tokenization to transform how people contribute give and take prompts in app. Is how to combine on-chain, off-chain data analytics using Web3 to contribute to AI in on-chain data analytics, and use some of the AI or quantum computing power to reverse complement your on-chain data accuracy. Last but not least is more hard. I'm still trying my best to comprehend, is to combine zero-knowledge proof to create a privacy-focused AI bots or AI apps. Yeah.
Right.
So we should always invite him on stage, you know, so well prepared.
Yeah, I think Poseidon kind of answered the question of the intersection about AI and Web3.
So for me,
Gavin?
I will echo what Poseidon just mentioned regarding to AI is helping to solve the problem of productivity, while a blockchain is like targeting to solve the problem of product relationship. But it's a little bit like different opinions. Like I don't think Web3 equals to blockchain. I would say like Web3 has lots of components, right? AI might be one component for blockchain, as mentioned, solving the productivity issue, while a blockchain could potentially be another component solving the product relationship issues. We will have other components, for example, like a three-dimension technology, hardware, etc., to kind of be as kind of materials in the virtual world, like a virtual world or metaverse. So from this perspective, I would say, well, like sometimes people are messing up with like between crypto, blockchain, Web3, etc. I would say like crypto blockchain compared to Web3 is a much smaller kind of domain. So sometimes we need to understand like what we kind of are coming from, or we are talking about, like what we are like going forward. So this is something I just want to clarify. And regarding to the 5 direction you just mentioned, I think it's totally good. It's definitely having like lots of kind of bright futures and lots of potential opportunity that we can invest in. Some like specific case I just want to add up, and it's like, for example, like we currently have lots of security issues, right? Like even like fraud or security hack and etc. But in the future, I think AI could play very kind of an important role. Nowadays, like, you got lots of robot, like anti-robot, like both sides are fighting between each other, like white hat hackers. So if we are really talking about massive adoption, then we will face much more kind of this kind of attack. Then I think AI will play a very important role in the space. So for our team, like, we did spend tons of time in the kind of a security, etc. space. So that's from me. Thanks.
Thank you, Jupiter.
So recently we do see some divergence and convergence trends in the Web3 and AI sectors. By saying divergence, I see a lot of investors transfer their interest, or they got great interest from Web3 to AI. So they're not investing in Web3 anymore. So the great interest is the AI. And also from the fundraising side, the AI fund is the most popular fund among the investors. So if you're going to talk with traditional investors, you're raising an AI fund, it's easier for you to raise. But if you're raising a Web3 fund at the current time, you're facing a lot of challenges. So this is the divergence I see. But I also see some convergence. So our view is that because from day one, we think the crypto is not a technology itself. It's a combination of different technologies. For example, consensus, the P2P techniques, and others. The Satoshi just smartly combine them together and create such a Bitcoin ecosystem can to prevail until from the old days to now. So I think crypto or Web3 is very it's not exclusive. It can be inclusive to any technologies. For me, I think AI is a kind of, you can compare it as a platform or SaaS, but Web3 is providing some application markets. It's kind of horizontal industry versus vertical industry. So AI can be empowered every vertical industry. So when I talk with our investors, their view is that now is a time for the traditional technology companies to build up their AI models. But what is next step? It need to be used into different verticals. So I think Web3 is a perfect vertical. I see a lot of projects and applications using a lot of AI techniques. For example, Web3 is not just creating an asset class, but also creating a large data set. So a lot of value can be dig out from this large data set, and data set is still growing. And AI is just empower the way that you can give some much high performance analytics tools, and also the reviewing tools to make this data set to be more usable for the common users. So I think it's not a contradiction, but we see more convergence of the traditional technologies and Web3. AI, others can combine together. So I think it's very exciting to see how these two sectors can be intersect in the future. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you for sharing about the intersection of the Web3.
few points
Yeah,
from
I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
being the last one is the best, so I don't have to repeat whatever they have
Like,
said. I can just
conclude.
tap into everybody's brain.
Adding on.
But I'm going to give a different perspective. AI is definitely here to stay. Is already in our everyday life. If you watch video, TikTok, and all this, as Dom has mentioned, is literally AI behind the back scene. AI and Web3 connection, I think tokenization is a very important point. It allows a lot of people, ordinary people, VCs, to easily tap into this industry via buying the tokens and so forth. So 3 is that the big AI companies is beyond our investment means. Their valuation is too sky high, but you can always, like if you miss out investing in layer 1, you can go for the layer 2, you can go for the dApps. So the usage of AI is very, very broad. Example, let's look into something more exotic than what has been mentioned. More exotic things will be like porn, right? AI in porn is the next big thing in the world, that's for sure. You use deep fake technology. I mean, you don't hear this coming from a lot of VCs, but this is what makes money. And my duty is to make money for my LPs, right? So I'm literally a more direct guy. So we look at AI in entertainment. So this is something that we felt that, the whole internet started. One thing that brought internet today is porn. So AI probably in this area is going to make a lot of money.
Thank you so much.
I can probably echo a little bit on what Gavin said and provide you a perfect stage to go. It is, we're chatting about in the past 10 years, we've probably been through 3 bullish rounds, 3 bearish rounds, and in review of 2020 first, 2017 and 2013, I think the 2013 bullish round has the most natural drive with what Bitcoin and their own protocol and blockchain is for. And you tap into one of the 4 we mentioned. We summarize by saying sex, gamblings, drugs, and weapons are the 4 drivers for the first ever bullish run. And I got echo when I was playing WSOP World Series of Poker earlier this year. I noticed that all the world's top 10 poker players got into Bitcoin in 2010. And they got a lot of Bitcoin in 2013. Why? Because back then, the largest offline club called Full Tilt Poker, their boss got, how do you say, 抓了?
Arrested.
Yeah. I tried to come up with a more gentle word of that.
Been taken.
The largest poker club in the United States boss got arrested for that. And the largest online site called PokerStar became illegal in most of the states in the United States. So people are trying to come up with a real adoption of Bitcoin. And probably the first adoption of Bitcoin was adopted and driven by some of the world's most famous poker players, such as Daniel Negreanu, Tom Dwan, and so on. They got no place to play poker and do a fair transfer to aggregate their pot into something that is permissionless, decentralized, and fair. So they started to aggregate Bitcoin and then started to use that. So that probably can echo a little bit about the 4 main pillars for crypto adoption back then, 2013. It was 10 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess in your opinion, the intersection of AI and Web3, they're actually amplifying each other, right? In different ways.
Definitely
For
opens
sure.
up opportunities for everybody to be part of the AI ecosystem.
Right.
And if you ask a VC like us, what do we look at? Well, when you go into a new hot industry, you go into those that really makes the money, right? We love the technology, but we love the money more than the technology.
Okay.
I love technology more than money, by the way.
That's great, because next one we're going to ask about the investment strategy, because the investment strategy is actually always impacted by various factors, right? It's like for instance, like monetary or regulatory, or even the geopolitics. So I wanted to ask, recently, have your investment strategy changed in the current market?
I think.
So, Kelvin, do you want to start?
Yeah. We follow the trend. We are. I always believe VC is a trend-focused industry. So we like to ride the wave, right? Nobody can predict the future. We can only guess the future. That's our philosophy. And we like to ride with the wave. Like you can see the last two bull runs that we were in. Okay, DeFi is hard, we should invest into DeFi. But you will never be able to spot DeFi, right? Back in 2017, NFT was already there. GameFi was already in 2017, but it wasn't the thing in 2017.
Yeah,
Okay? It was the thing in 2020, 2021. So when we see the wave coming, that's where we jumped in, just like a surfer. If there's no wave, we just paddle.
Well, sorry to chime in, but for us, we might be a little bit old school. We tend to do more kind of a fundamental analysis, like kind of a research-driven. For example, right, Kelvin mentioned like DeFi. We invested in Chainlink quite long, like early 2019, even before like DeFi summer. Like back then, no one is understand like what Oracle could do, right? So kind of no like DeFi, like no reference price, kind of no price feeder, this kind of function. So. But we invested in them and help them to build up the Asian presence, help them to hire people and to do BD, etc. So that's something I agree. We cannot like forecast the future, but at least for us, like we tend to do more kind of a early stage work, like to try to help like ecosystem, and also similar to ICP, right? We investing in ICP in 2016. So back then, it's not as advanced as nowadays. So we tend to kind of not only ride on the wave, we'll also get our hands dirty to do to make some efforts. So that's what we. Also, in addition to the thesis, we have a kind of a very confirmed basic principle. It's like we are looking at the very long-term stuff, as well as kind of we looking at things that are difficult but right things. The last thing is like we are very focused on the high ceiling projects. So that's from me. Thanks.
So Jupiter, I know your venture is more like research driven. So do you have an alternative approach that you would like to share with us?
Thank you. Actually, we didn't change our investment strategy because we are Web3 dedicated VC, largely, subject to our mandate. So we cannot change our investment strategy. But we are. For other reason was we are the long-term believer of Web3 and cryptos, but we are likely to see a lot of projects in the market have been aggressively embracing the AI technologies. I think maybe one example is that there's a lot of on-chain data and a lot of on-chain data analytic tools. I think in early days, just these vendors just providing a dashboard, analytic, the data table for the users, just the raw data. Nobody knows how to use it. But nowadays, I think the data vendors of blockchains, engaging AI technologies, they are providing more like a human thinking style analytics to the data set. You don't just receive the raw data, but also you receive the, if you want to ask some question regarding what one address, what is the relationship between one address to another. I think these analytic tools can providing you some like human thinking results for you. So it's can reduce a lot of work effort and workload to doing some on-chain data analytics. I think it's a good way that Web3 projects embracing the AI technologies And also, a lot of token trading, some kind of services have been in crypto for many years, but now we see that AI bot, we see some AI trading services platform providing bot services to the common users to enhance their strategy, return rate to some extent. I think it's a good way to onboarding some new users, and also on the other hand to engaging AI technologies. So for us, we still dedicate to Web3 projects, but if they can be more open-minded to AI technology, we are likely to see that happening. Yeah, thank you.
Zheng, anything to add?
Yeah, I feel very embarrassed that what I'm going to say is going to be maybe dramatically different from the two speakers on my both sides. I would say 50% of my time is to predict the future using some of the data we collect. Of course, like historical data might not be able to perfectly predict the future, but earlier this year, the question was, starting this year, have our investment thesis been changed?
Yes.
Yes, I think in January, I aggregate all of our team members. Originally, we're all based in different cities. We have less than 10 people in our team. We aggregate everyone to Dubai and Abu Dhabi for a retreat. And in that retreat, I think the biggest outcome that we derive from that retreat is to set the top 3 OKR for Outliers Fund looking from 10 years in the future backward. And we realized that the fund size and the fund return were not in the top 3 OKR. And we defined the top 3 OKR, might be a little bit shallow, but you can just here as a reference. Like the first of all is more people driven, is to turn nobody into somebody. We believe the category definer in this industry, Web3 specifically, for example, CZ, before he became CZ in Binance, he might be a random CTO of an exchange, of a company. Before Vitalik became Vitalik of Ethereum, he is a dropout student just like me. And so to summarize, the first OKR, we tend to 100% invest in the next generation of Nikola Tesla in Web3, but not Thomas Edison. I believe Thomas Edison have created a lot of value to this world, to this society, to the industry, but it is because 99% of the VCP funds are chasing after Thomas Edison anyway. Those who are good at branding, marketing, business model, campaign, and so on. So it doesn't matter for us as a small fund. We are just a double-digit fund to chase after Thomas Edison again. We found out that less than 1% of the VC will be chasing after the next generation Nikola Tesla like Dominic. Right? So turning nobody into somebody. Second, the second objective we come up with is to also make sure that all the Web3 startups that we invest are at least pushing the boundaries of science by research publication and foundation. So that includes one of our portfolio company, DMail, or the first DIP proposal, like approved project or startups, and they also got 3 grants from Definity Foundation, and then 3 projects that submitted, actually until this year, 5 projects that submitted a successfully approved EIP proposal, including ERC 6551, talking about wallet-based accounts on NFT. Last but not least, the keyword is collective intelligence. We realized that I have been telling our investors, first of all, unlike you guys, I think we were considered very, very lucky that we have 40 limited partners, but we didn't have a mandate. I intentionally not signed a mandate with them because I know the future in the next, our fund is 7 years. So I know that in 7 years, there's a lot we cannot predict and a lot of trends we don't know yet. So I tell them that if you want to invest in the fund, you need to be 100% believe in me. Just like if I invest in a startup founder, I need to 100% believe in them. And then in the last quarter, I wrote them an email that is more sensitive. I hope that none of them have spread it out. because I told them that the third objective is, in the worst case scenario, maybe by end of our fund life, we do not provide a positive return. I mean, in the worst case scenario, well, actually right now, we have already 1x, like already covered the base. So that's not a scenario, but I'm telling them that even if we can positive return 16.2x, 11.2x, just like Outliers Fund 1 and Fund 2 and Outliers Fund 3. But if I can justify that 14 of our portfolio companies are working on a very important problem in cryptography, zero knowledge proof, consensus, pushing the industry forward, just like what Prismatic Labs. Prismatic Labs is in one of the portfolio company of Outliers Lab 1 back in 5 years ago. We didn't get to invest in them because, ironically, they have $2 million from Ethereum Foundation, another $2 million from Twitter. One day, Vitalik just made a tweet, and then hundreds of crypto native individual and VC donated $2 million to them. So this team, Prismatic Labs, has been scaled in from a team of 2 to 4 to 8 to 12 to 14. Before that, got merged and acquired with Offchain Labs, the mother company of Arbitrum. And I would say Prismatic Labs is one of our most proud of portfolio, despite that in terms of financial return, it is the least. So if we can justify that there is a peer-to-peer, portfolio-to-portfolio synergy between different portfolio companies, and that can push the boundary. Maybe the 14 of them are working on different problems in components from day one. And maybe only 5 years later or 7 years later, we looking back, we can connect the dots and then see it as a map from the top, seeing that they are actually creating some value.
Let me, just 1 second, very quick word, to protect all the other VCs, okay? Because I believe that every VCs target different markets, different strategies, and so on. If you believe that you are the next Dominic, the next Elon Musk, look for him. But you believe you can make some money quickly and so on, look for me. And then each different VC has a different strategy. And that's why this market is vibrant.
Yeah.
Because everybody can get some money if you connect with the right VC. Right?
Right.
Right.
Great. Yeah, for the institutional investor, because I think in investing that I think one of the things that we're trying to do is like you can't just investing in what other people are investing. So it's actually nice to hear you guys all have different approach that actually pans out, right? So do your own research and make your own decisions. We're actually running out of time for today's discussion, so thank you so much. I think that's web's up, and then we can talk more later on. And I just wanted to say one thing, because tomorrow is actually Mid-Autumn Day in China. So it simplifies the family reunion, and I just wish everyone gets home and then be with your family and loved ones. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.